Hi guys, it's Mrs. Sanford. Sorry I couldn't be there today, but we're going to watch a video similar to what we did a couple weeks ago. And you're going to get the notes for section 6.6, Graphing Systems of Linear Equalities. You should have your notes in front of you. You should be filling this out as you go along. I'm going to be checking on Monday to make sure that you followed along with the video. And please make sure to watch the entire thing so that way you know how to do this section. You do have a test on Wednesday, so please be prepared that when I come back, that's what we're going to be doing. A test on Wednesday. Sorry, writing like a second grader again. But please be prepared for that next week. This is our last section, so let's make it a good one. Please be respectful to your sub. When you are finished going through the video and graphing your notes, please get a worksheet from your sub, and you'll work on that for the rest of the period. So let's get started. So your learning target today is you're going to graph a solution set to a system of linear inequalities. And we did similar things to this yesterday. Remember, that's less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. Today it's a system. So the difference with that is that you're going to have two inequalities to graph instead of just one like yesterday. So that's the only difference, and let's get started. So when we graph a system of linear equalities, we're not looking for the exact point where the lines cross, like that's what we did when we had equations. We are actually going to be looking for the ordered pairs, so I'm just going to put this, the ordered pairs, where the shadings cross. That's what's different. Sorry guys, it's so messy. I'm working on it. Okay, so when we did equations, you looked for the one ordered pair where the lines crossed. The difference with inequalities is that you're going to have some shadings that are going to overlap, and that's going to be your answer for these. So you can do this and figure out the solution set for this when your inequality is in this form. Y equals, or mx plus b. As long as it looks like it's in that format, slope-intercept, then you're good to go. You can graph these inequalities. So let's recap from yesterday. This is like a little cheat sheet for you guys to remember how to do this. And you're going to have to, if I were you on my test on Wednesday, I might draw this box to kind of give myself a reminder of what to do. So remember, when you have less than, it's this symbol. Less than or equal to has a line underneath it. We have greater than or equal to, just like from yesterday. So just like yesterday, let's give ourselves some reminders about what to do. When you have inequalities that look like this, you're going to have similar shadings. So if it's less than, I always think less than goes down. So you're going to shade below. If I could write it. So remember, don't forget to shade everything when you're doing these inequalities. So you're going to shade below, and then when you have any type of greater than symbol, you're going to shade above. Make sure you're writing this down with me. Hopefully it's a little neater than mine. Alright, and then we're going to have to decide what kind of line we're going to have. So if you have a less than or greater than with no line underneath, you're going to have a dotted line. Sorry it takes me so long. Dotted or dashed line for those. And then when you have a line underneath it like these, where it could be equal to it, you're going to have a solid line. Okay, so that's just a refresher from yesterday, so make sure, hopefully that's nothing new to you. But let's see how these are different. So let's do a quick example here. Scroll down a little bit. Okay, this is what your homework's going to look like. This little bar here means that it's a system. You're going to be graphing systems today, so just two inequalities instead of just one like yesterday. So you're going to graph a solution set to each system of linear equalities. So you're going to graph both of these inequalities. And remember, graphing of these is very similar to what we're doing for equations. So I'm going to zoom in here really quick, if I can. But this is what you're going to be graphing first. So let's graph this inequality first. So I'm going to start at 4. It's going to be my first point. And then this is my slope. So it's 2. I know I need two numbers, a rise over run, so my slope is, hopefully you know, is 2 over 1. So from that point you're going to go up 2 over 1, and then up 2 over 1. And we can go a couple the other way, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. Hopefully this graphing stuff is pretty simple to you by now. Alright, from yesterday, hopefully you're remembering, if I have this symbol, so that symbol is greater than. So what kind of line am I going to have? Well, it can't be equal to these that I put on here. So I'm going to have a dotted line. So this is going to be sketchy, but do the best you can. We're going to have a dotted line here. I'm going to go all the way through my graph. I really should have kept my points going. It's a bad example. So the best you can, draw your dotted line. And now we have to figure out where we're shading. So if this is greater than this line, I'm going to shade everything above that line. So this is the fun part. So you're going to shade everything on this side. Shade it in real nice. Alright, if you have other colors with you, I would definitely recommend that you do this in other colors. This is going to help you see the differences better than if you didn't have colors. I'll try to do this in green. Alright, so this inequality I'm going to do in green. So same type of thing, I'm going to graph it. You're going to do negative, I'm on this step, in case you're following along. You're going to go to -3 on your graph, 1, 2, 3. And this is our slope, so we're going to go up 2 over 5. So up 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then looks like they're not crossing yet, so I'm going to go the other way. So we're going to go down 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, I lost my spot. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, then I'm going to ask myself what kind of line I'm going to have. So in this equation I have greater than or equal to. So every time I see that line underneath, I automatically know, okay, there's a solid line in this problem, so my graph is going to have a solid line. So this is going to be sketchy. Best I can, I'm without a ruler. Alright, so there's my solid line for that equation, or inequality. Alright, so now I have to shade. So this one is also greater than, so I'm going to shade up. So I'm going to shade lightly above. And mine look dark because it's on the computer, but you really should be doing this kind of lightly. So this is everything above my green line. Would be up here. So when we did equations, we looked for the point where the two lines cross. That's what it is for equations. For inequalities, you're going to look for where the shadings overlap, and you're just going to darken that in. So in this case, everything over here, and I could even do this in a different color too, so you could see. Everything over here, where it has green and blue, that's going to be shaded in really dark, because that's where these two inequalities overlap, would be this section right here. So once you spot that overlapping shading, go ahead and darken that in the best you can, because that's your answer. So when you do your homework tonight, that's what I'm looking for. You're not going to have like a number answer or anything like that. I'm going to look for where the shadings overlap. Alright? So your final answer will be where the shading overlaps. All right, let's go to the second page. Hopefully it opens up here. Okay, these are just a couple examples. Hopefully you feel comfortable enough by this point to maybe try it with me or go ahead of me if you need to, and then just check your answers. So for this one, I'm going to just start in blue like I did the other one. Oops, not blue yet. So I'm going to start this inequality in blue. I'm going to start at -3. And my slope is -1/3, so I'm going to go down 1 and then over 3. So down 1, 1, 2, 3. Down 1, 2, 3, down 1. Just so my line is better, I'm going to do it the other way too. Up 1 over 3. 1 over 3. Okay, so I'm going to look. I have less than or equal to, so it's going to be a solid line. So I'm going to do a solid line. It's very crooked and awful. There's my line. And then I'm going to look here. It's less than, so that means I'm going to shade everything below. So do this lightly on yours. That's my shading right there for this one. All right, then my next one I'm going to do in green, just like before. Now this line is really awkward because it's not in y equals mx plus b form. So it's going to be either, whenever you have just like a variable equals something, or like x equals something, y equals something, you know it's either going to be a horizontal, so horizontal or vertical line when you have that. So this one here, I'm going to go to x. This is my x-axis. So on my x-axis, I'm going to go to -2. So that would be right here. And I would never draw my line right on the axis, so I know this has to be a a vertical line. So, but I have to be careful. Is it going to be a solid or dashed line? Well, there's no line under that, so it's going to be a dashed line. So go ahead and draw a dashed vertical line, best way you can. And here's where it kind of makes you think. This is greater than, so usually I'd shade up. But there's no up in this situation. It's either to the right or to the left. So you have to think, where on this number line is it going greater than? Would this way be greater than, or this way be greater than? In this case, everything on this side is bigger. So this is where you're going to shade. So I'm going to shade everything on this side of the green line. Everything over here. All right, and for systems of inequalities, remember you're looking for the point where they overlap. So I'm going to really make this section right here really dark, because this is where they overlap. All right, so that would be your solution. That would be what I'm looking for when I grade your test or grade your homework. All right, we're almost done. We're going to look at the last page here. Sorry, the last problem. And we're going to do the same thing. So hopefully you're getting the hang of this now. Go ahead and draw a smiley face on your note page if you've listened this far and are still following along so nicely. All right, I'm going to do this one in blue. I'm going to start at -2. And my slope is 1, so I'm going to go up 1 over 4. Up 1.
So, as far as I can.
Oops. Lost my spot. Oops, lost my pen. So up 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I'm going to go the other way. Down 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, then I'm going to look, okay, it's going to be a dashed line because it's not or equal to, so I'm going to have a dashed line through here. And it's less than, so I'm going to shade everything below this line because it's less than that. All of these ordered pairs below here are the answer. All right, now I'm ready for my next one, so I'm going to change my color, and I'm going to graph this line in green. So I'm going to start at +1. And then my slope is 3, so I know that's the same thing as 3 over 1. So I'm going to go up 3 over 1. 1, 2, 3 over 1. 1, 2, 3 over 1. Other way, down 3 over 1. Alright, so this is my line. It's also going to be a dashed line for this one because it doesn't have a line underneath. It's not equal to it. So I'm going to have a dashed line through here. And I'm going to shade everything greater than. So I'm going to shade up. So that would be this way. So I'm going to shade everything on this side. The green line. And this one doesn't have a very large area where they overlap. It would be this section right here. On this side of the line is going to just be a little bit darker because they both have it in common. So that section right there would be your answer. Alright, I hope that you have listened and that you've been very good students, and I really appreciate you guys. I hope you have a great weekend. Go ahead and write your weekend plans on the bottom of this page if you've listened this far. Thank you so much, and make sure you do your homework. Get the sub. Sub has the homework for you. So grab that, work on that for the rest of the period, and be very careful. Hope you're using pencil on this homework assignment so you can make sure you don't make any mistakes. All right, see you guys. Have a good weekend.